Spurs Jeremy Sochan got some constructive criticism from a fellow Polish big man, and let's predict how the Spurs are going to start the season.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Happy Monday. Welcome back to Locked On Spurs. We're in the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Glad to have you all back. Hope you had a great weekend. And as always, we thank y'all for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. Free and available wherever we get podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Ken's 5 Plus app, YouTube. You know what to do. Go subscribe ASAP. We definitely appreciate it. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is around the corner. Visit FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets right now. So what are we talking about on today's episode, kids? We're going to be looking at Jeremy Sochan and what fellow Polish big man, remember this guy, Marcin Gortat, for the Polish Hammer? Well, he had some tough love, some constructive criticism for Jeremy Sochan as he enters year 4, I believe. So we're going to be diving into that. Is Gortat right? Is he wrong? And just what do we expect from Sochan next season? And then we're going to look at the Spurs schedule. It came out last week. We're going to look at the first 10 games. We're going to try to predict that 10-game start. Yeah, so we'll definitely love to hear what our guest thinks about that and more. Let's go to bring him on guest back. Look who's back, everybody. To kick off a week here at Locked On Spurs, Mr. James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star. He is on X at I am Pledger. Pledger, welcome back to Locked On Spurs.
What's happening, my man? How you doing?
We're doing good. As y'all can tell, he's busy at work, so we're gonna be like Tony Parker racing down to the paint. We're gonna fly through this right now. So always make sure to check out 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star from the Blitz to his show, Mr. Pledger Show. Extra innings, you do that ASAP. All right, Pledger, let's dive into it. We're trying to respect your time here, so let's kick on that afterburner right now. So in a Polish interview, Marcin Gortat, remember him, big man, played with the Wizard, played several teams. Well, he had some very tough love, some tough words, out of the heart, though, for Jeremy Sochan as he enters year 4 next season with San Antonio. In a nutshell, he touched on the obvious. That outside shot has to improve. Okay, so Marcin, we got that. Yay, we understand that. I think Sochan knows that. But he kept on. He didn't stop there. He said that Sochan has to realize he's not the go-to guy. That what's going to make him a valuable player on the Spurs roster is that he has to do a lot of everything. Now, he did give Sochan the benefit of the doubt. They said, hey, he's been at point guard. He's been in and out of the rotation, hurt, starter, bench. So he gave him a pass on that. But as the Spurs are getting better, he feels that Sochan's going to fall down deeper in the importance level. So because of that, he says that he needs to just go ahead and just do a little bit of everything. What do you think about that? Do you think that Sochan just has to, play and, whatever he does, if he gets 2 points, well, great, but you better be out there playing defense. I guess what Marcin Gortat is trying to tell Sochan, Pledger, is, hey, man, you got to know your role, and that knowing your role is going to get bigger as far as accepting what they're going to have to do next season because this team is loaded, Pledger.
Sure. I'm unaware that Sochan thought he was the guy on this team.
Apparently so, according to
Did
Gortat.
it come across, has the way he's ever played come across like that to you?
Never.
So I don't get the criticism from Marcin Gortat. I understand the shooting the ball. I don't understand because everything he gets doesn't feel like he's taking away from anybody. He kind of feels like a garbage guy in a lot of senses when it comes to how he gets his points, or he's left wide open for 3 because they don't, nobody is scared of him out there. So, while we may not like him shooting when he's open a lot of the times, it's the best shot. So I've never felt like he was a hindrance to the offense the same way I do Devin Vassell is sometimes. There are times where I feel like Devin Vassell doesn't understand his role on the team. I've always thought Jeremy Sochan understood his role on the team. He's a defensive guy. He's a spark plug. He's a cleanup guy down low. inside, 5 feet. Like, I've never once watched a Spurs game and went, man, Jeremy Sochan is really trying to take over this game.
Yeah.
I've never felt that. So, like, part of Marcin's comments don't hit with me because I don't see that in his game.
Yeah. And look, I had this conversation with Locked On Fantasy NBA a couple of weeks ago about Sochan, and I was asked in that show, so is he a 5? Is he a 4? Is he a 1? Right, that a few years ago. Is he? Who is he? And we were kind of fumbling through it, and we just said, you know what? He's just a baller. That's it. There's really no way to say, okay, he is this, and that's it. I think he does. He's going to have to do a little bit of everything, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Since they moved him to the 1, and I've always felt this is probably the most apt description of Jeremy Sochan, just kind of in a different vein. He's a hyper athletic Draymond Green. He can push the ball up the floor for you. He can, not so much initiate the offense the same way Draymond does, but like off a rebound, he can freaking take it the other way, and all of a sudden you're off to the races, right? That's kind of game. He's like another Spur who used to wear 10 and have funky hair, Dennis Rodman, but like Dennis Rodman with the Bulls. Nobody ever thought Dennis Rodman was trying to insert his way into the offense or take away from Jordan or Pippen, or he's a guy that's gonna get under the guys that he's guarding skin and the other team, and he's going to lay out into the crowd to save a loose ball. Like that's who Jeremy Sochan is. His greatest achievement, I think, is being like a hybrid between Draymond Green and Dennis Rodman, because that's the type of player he is. He's an annoyance on defense. He's going to poke the other team and hopefully make them do something stupid and getting them to retaliate. And he's going to take the offense as it comes to it. He's not searching it out. Like, that's who he is. And I think that's like the ultimate Charizard form of Jeremy Sochan.
Love how Pleasure dropped the Pokemon reference here. I think that's the first time ever we had a Pokemon reference on Locked On Spurs. Hey, you know what though? And we'll hit a break coming up soon or fast. But
am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And it kind of leads into what I was going to say right now. Is it's one of those things that you've seen the box scores last year. I know I'm in press row and we see them. And we're talking before the players come out. Let's just say Sochan's going to be one of the guys coming out. And we're looking at a stat sheet, and we're like, oh, man, we jump to the points, right? Oh, man, he just had 5 points. We're like, come on, Sochan. But then you read the stat line. Oh, he had 11 rebounds. Oh, he had 2 steals. Oh, he had 4 offensive
3
rebounds.
blocks.
Yeah. Oh, he had 3 blocks. And I think that's how he has to move forward. Like doing that kind of stuff. And look, I get what Marcin's trying to do. Maybe he's trying to light a fire under his fellow Polish big man guy there. That's
it's a weird way to do it. Okay,
but he has some harsh. I mean, it was more, I read it more like tough love, just like some tough love. But man, Marcin has some stuff for him. But we're not done talking about Sochan. When we get back, we're going to continue talking about Gortat and his comments regarding the Spurs forward. That and more right here on Locked On Spurs with James Pleasure. He is on X at I Am Pleasure.
Hey, I want to talk about FanDuel. August 26th is officially FanDuel's Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. Just 24 hours, FanDuel's giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling up your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week 1 even kicks off, this is your tournament. Hey, take a fire on the MVP, right? Why don't you crown your champion in August? Dallas Cowboys, Houston Texans, maybe parlay your division winner dark horses. Here's what you got to do. You want to go visit the FanDuel app today. Start planning your future bets now. It's easy to use, user-friendly, easy to navigate. 1, 2, 3, you're in and out, done. FanDuel makes it all easy on that app. And again, visit that FanDuel app today because Futures Day is just one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game.
What's up, guys? This is KG Tang, voice of Sanami Shinizugawa and Demon Slayer, and you're watching Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
We're back right here on Locked On Spurs, joined by Mr. James Pledger. He's with San Antonio Sports Star, host of Extra Innings. He's going to brag about that in just a few seconds. We're talking about Marcin Gortat. Remember him? Well, he had some tough love for Jeremy Sochan regarding his play and entry year 4. Now, you look at the stats, Pledger. You know, you're seeing incremental growth. You're not seeing dramatic big steps. So what I mean by that with Sochan is this. So everybody points at his shooting, right? Oh, the shooting's horrible, and it is. But last season, for his standards, he shot a career high 59% from the 2-point range. He had a career high 57% effective field goal shooting and a career high 71% shooting at the rim. He also gave you 11 points per game and a career high 2.4 offensive rebounds. So you look at that, like you just see that he is effective, but he's just not going to be effective in one stat category. Let's just say like Wemby with blocks or Fox with points. You know,
He's a baller.
I think that
He's going to affect the game in every facet, not one.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be domination in every or one facet. It's just going to be a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit. He's what I like to call a box score compiler.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he's gonna tick every check on the box score.
Absolutely. Now, next season, though, it's going to be interesting because obviously they got Dylan Harper, Castle's on the rise, Wemby, Fox, et cetera, et cetera. How do you see him fitting in next season? Is he going to be valuable in that starting 5 or in that second unit?
Because it's hard to decipher because we don't know what lineup Mitch Johnson really wants to go with, right? And so for me, I think much like he was at Baylor, coming off the bench may very, very well be a good spot for him. For some reason, I have this feeling deep in my gut that the Spurs are going to do a starting lineup that is Fox, Castle, Vassell, Barnes, Wemby.
Interesting. You know what? I have Sochan in the starting unit too. So
that would have Barnes coming off the bench then.
Yeah.
Who would you rather have with Wemby on the floor? Someone that spaces the floor?
I know, exactly. Yeah, I just thought about that right now. Do you want to?
I mean, Castle's not a floor spacer. Fox in the floor spacer. Wemby can space the floor, but you want to space it for him as well. You just need someone just for the dichotomy of the rotation. Like, just best player doesn't mean, deserving of spot. You have to build this team as a team, and I think a lot of that gets lost in the shuffle a lot of the times as we're trying to put the best 5 on the floor and roll the ball out. That's cool in theory, but those people have to play each other, and there's a reason why for a period in time Julian Champagny was a starter on this team because you needed somebody that could space the floor at an effective clip. And at least with Harrison Barnes, and we saw it last year, the effectiveness of Wemby grew because of Barnes' ability to pull big men out from the paint. And it also helps out guys like Fox when he penetrates and Castle. And, you need people that can be a threat from outside to open it up for everybody else. And I think that's the biggest question mark going into this season that I have is Mitch Johnson gonna base his rotation on his best players or the best fits with each other? Because that's going to be very, very important. And I think fit has as much to do with winning as anything. Look at the year Giannis won a NBA championship. It was him and a whole bunch of shooters.
Oh yeah.
Chris Middleton, you could consider a star at that point in time, I guess.
Probably.
But he was a floor spacing star.
Yeah.
He was a 3-and-D star. Like, Other than that, you have Bobby Portis, you have Brooke Lopez. All of them shoot over 33% from three. Like they brought in PJ Tucker, who was a 3-and-D guy. Like all they did was unclog the lane so Giannis could do work.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of what the Spurs have missed in different iterations of this team. And I think, would it shock me if, Kelly Olynyk maybe is in the starting line? No, because it would, I don't need them to be I don't need 7 20-point a game scored starting. I need 2 or 3, and I need 2 other guys that know what their role is to take their shot when it's their turn and they're wide open. That's the importance of basketball, and that's probably the most important aspect that I feel the Spurs have lost more than anything. Much like the Spurs, Tim Duncan era, they were bringing in different guys, but they're all guys with a purpose that made sure to fit in the overall well-oiled machine that was the Spurs offense. You had the big guy down low, whether it was Nesterovic or Malik
Rose
or Jakob Pertl or Thiago Splitter, whoever it was, they had a big that's role was to do big things down low and take pressure off Tim Duncan, and then they surrounded him with guys like Brent Barry and Steve Kerr and Steven Jackson, like shooters to space the floor, to unclog the paint so Tim could work. Like those are important aspects of building a roster. And I think the Spurs have been so hell-bent on finding talent that they have bypassed the other necessary parts in building a functioning team that can win at the NBA level. And they've started to fill some of those holes, whether it's Zach Cornett or Kelly Olynyk or Harrison Barnes last year. They've started to put pieces that are starting to alleviate some of those issues. We don't lack for star power. We lack for role players, or we lacked for role players, and we'll see if the role players they bought in help fit into the system that can make this a well-oiled machine offensively that it can be.
Yeah, then we talked about this last week on Locked On Spurs. Like, are there any holes on the roster right now? And I still think there are holes, and one of them is lack of perimeter shooting from their guard core. We, hopefully some of these guys. I think Fox is Fox. That's who he is already.
Fox.
Yeah, but I think with Castle, hopefully Harper, maybe Carter Bryant, we'll see. They can take up, take a step as far as alleviating the clogging of the lanes with their perimeter shooting. But circling back to Sochan, he is technically in a contract year. As of this recording, the Spurs have not extended him. That's got to play a huge factor in how he performs next season. That's got to play a huge factor because you have in the wings, as we mentioned, Carter Bryant there, you have Dylan Harper there, could Sochan be expendable on this team? So what do you think about that, the whole contract situation he's in?
I mean, everybody's expendable at some point because you just signed De'Aaron Fox to his massive deal. You've got Victor Wembanyama coming. Those are 2 massive deals that you're not going to nothing's happening that's going to deter you from those 2 contracts moving forward. Does Stephon Castle continue on his trajectory? Then that's another one that you're going to have to pay. And we don't know what Dylan Bryan is yet, hopefully, or Dylan Harper, hopefully. But, at some point, you're going to make tough decisions. You're either going to pay those aprons or you're going to move on from players that are a part of your team, a part of your core, a part of what started. But, I mean, look at the Spurs. Like they had a core, but their core also knew like the core was the core with those 3. And then, Matt Bonner became part of the core. Patty Mills became part of the core, but they were never max money guys.
Right.
And you're either going to be willing to accept what your perceived value is to the Spurs, or you're going to test the open market and try and make as much money as you humanly possibly can.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But circling back to Gortat and his comments regarding Sochan, he did, in his opinion, he considers year 4 for Sochan a prove it year. So, man, I guess those Polish guys, man, they man, they don't hold back. They'll let their buddies know, man.
He might have huge expectations for him and to
Yeah.
be, a star player in the league and to do these different things and not to be, what it looks like the Spurs may have envisioned him to be when they drafted him, which is, kind of a jack of all trades kind of guy. And if he wants to be a superstar and, he's going to have to go somewhere else to be that. That's for sure. So,
Exactly.
I don't need him thinking about his contract, thinking I've got to score 25 points a game. I need him to continue doing what he's done. The money will come with your production.
Absolutely. He is James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star. Make sure to follow him on X at I Am Pledger. And we got to hear from y'all. What do you think about Marcin Gortat's, tough love, constructive criticism for Jeremy Sochan? Agree or disagree? Let us know. Again, Pledger's on X at I Am Pledger. I am on X at Jeff G. Spurs Zone. When we get back, we're going to look at the first 10 games and get Pledger's prediction how the Spurs are going to start coming out of the gates next season right here on Locked On Spurs. For the first time. We're back right here on Locked On Spurs, joined by James Pledger of San Antonio Sports Star. Make sure to check out all the shows on the Star at 94.1 or on YouTube. Basically, wherever you listen to Locked On Spurs, you're probably going to find San Antonio Sports Star and all the shows there as well. So make sure to do that ASAP. All right, Pledger, it's time to put you in the hot seat. So the Spurs 25-26 regular season schedule came out last week. And, everybody rushes like, hey, who are they playing? With this and that, and so you had some time to digest it. You had some time to look at the roster. It seemingly seemed that the roster we see right now is the one they're going to go to war with to start the season. So let's see what you think. How will they start off the season with the first 10
what
games?
Are you gonna do? You're gonna read off the opponents and I just go win-loss?
Yeah.
All right.
Simple as that. Okay. So they start off on the road at Dallas. Is that a win or a loss? I'm writing them down.
I'm imagining outside of Kyrie Irving, the Mavs are fully functioning. That was a playoff team that just happened to fall out of the playoffs and into the number 1 overall pick. I'm going to go loss.
Okay. I'm going to go win. I think the Spurs get a W there. All right. Next one, on the road at the Pelicans.
That's a win.
That's a win. And I got a win too. All right. Up next, and they finally come home for a 3-game homestand, that is. And they host the Nets. What do you got?
Win.
I'm right there with you. I got a win too. All right. Then they host the Raptors.
Win.
All right. I got a win too. All right. Then they host Miami.
Win.
And I got a win there too. All right. So far, we're almost there. Then they go to Phoenix. Win or loss?
Win.
Good pleasure. I got a win too. Then they go to the Lakers.
Loss.
Yeah, I got for me, I got the first loss right there. For you, that's their second loss. Then they come back home against Houston, hosting the Rockets. On
NBA Cup
TV.
game, by the way. NBA Cup
national
game.
TV too. First one on Prime too for the Spurs.
That's a loss.
Woo! I got a win. Okay. And then up next, they host the Pelicans.
It's a win.
It's a win, yep. And then finally, for the first 10 games, they go to Chicago.
That's a loss. Or that's a win. Sorry.
That's a win. All right. And
I was looking ahead at the back-to-back with the Warriors.
Yeah. You get that one in there. I got a win too. So I have them 5, 6, 7, 5.
7-3.
Yeah, you got them 7-3. I got them at 9-1.
Where it feels like.
Either way, they should come out to a great start next season, right? Because
you got a good start. It gets hard after that.
Yeah, they got to take advantage of that.
You got the Warriors, you got the Grizzlies, you got the Hawks, you got the Nuggets, the Timberwolves. Like you got some road to hay after that. After that 10-game start.
Spurs, and you're listening, take advantage of that hot start, or that easy, should I say, start of the schedule. He is James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star. He is on X at I Am Pledger. Hey, Pledger, can you brag about the Star for us, please?
I can. At the start, we're going to shoot it to you straight. Missed anything this week? You missed some great interviews like Councilman Mark White, Ron Nirenberg, who talked Project Marvel. Ron Nirenberg was great the other day. Man, God, I wish he hadn't turned out. He was great mayor. Great mayor.
Yeah.
Just good dude.
Yeah.
But all that on the Blitz. You got the morning huddle with AJ and Rob from 6 to 10, the Blitz, of course, 2 to 6, and of course my show from 6 to 7, wrapping you up and getting you ready for your evening. And of course, where you're home for everything that is starting right now, and that is football season. That means we got the Cowboys every weekend for you from here until the season ends, whenever that may be. We'll be your home for Thursday, Monday, Sunday night football. We've got it all for you. So if you need sports in your life, San Antonio Sports Star is the way to go.
Absolutely. Don't forget to check out Extra Innings. That's the show that Pledger hosts as well. By the way, I heard that you can outlift Mayor Ron. I heard that's true.
That is absolutely categorically false.
I would love
if there's a man I want to throw weights with, but will never beat him in the gym, it's Mayor Ron. That dude lives in there. He's in there more than we are.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's exactly how it is. Yeah, I would love to work out with him as well as you, Pledger, as well. All right. Pledger, thank you so much for joining us here on Locked On Spurs. I know you got to get back to work, so we'll let you go right now. Everybody else, thank you all for making Locked On Spurs your first listen every single day. Free to available wherever you get podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, KidFly, plus that YouTube. We'll be back later on this week talking all things Spurs as the offseason continues. But for James Pledger, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.